So unlike my previous coding projects, I struggled to even get started with this one. And so here's everything that has happened. Hey guys, this is Hriday and welcome back to the channel. And before you get started, I just want to give some context. I am Hriday and I'm on a coding journey to become an indie app developer. And I'm starting with learning the programming language Java. I finished learning the basics and I'm trying to better my knowledge by working on projects. I have finished two projects so far: a calculator and a personal budget planner, which you can check in the previous devlog. And the focus of this vlog is to-do list, the third project on a list of 5 projects. The problem I had initially was able to understand how to even structure the project, because if you look at my previous project, it has a menu system, and when you press a button it goes into the different options. So that is what, and each for each, like add a month plan, view a month plan, delete a month plan, I created individual classes for it here: add plan, view plan, and delete plan. So that's what I thought initially of doing it. But when I read the project description, it said the thing that I had to get my wrap around was creating and storing methods in a single class, and then creating objects in another class, running these methods on these objects, and after a task is objects in the sense task. So after a task is created, it will be stored in an array list or a linked list. So that is what happened. All the methods and related actions to be performed on a task, it lives in one class, whereas the tasks themselves live in a different class. And although there's a similarity, like where here again main view task, this task, the menu system is similar, but the way you do it is completely different. For example, here, I'll show you. If you look at it, we are calling, using this method, we are calling the main method from of another class. But here what we are doing is, I didn't complete it yet, this task and to-do list inherits from the task class, so that all the methods will be there. Here we create an object here, because when you create an object in a child class, it will have the properties of the child class as well as the parent class, instead of creating an object for the parent class. That's why, that's how they linked. After this, I need to connect this main class with the to-do list. So this is what I understood and I worked on, I think on Saturday, yeah, Saturday. So after that, I had to, because it's been a little bit time. Most of the project that I've done, I done using taking variables and storing content in them using a scanner class especially. But here I had to use constructor, because when you use constructor, you initialize certain values. Suppose for in this case, you initialize a certain name, you initialize certain priority level, as well as a due date. So then when you create a task to it, we have to use getter and setter statements that I have to yet to implement. So that is what, like, I have to refresh on how to use constructor and methods. One more thing I realized, that after making mistakes, of course, you have a constructor here. Even though this class is inherited from this class, it won't automatically inherit the constructor. So even though you put like class extend task, this here the task is the constructor. Again, you have to give the statement super name priority and this, so that you are like inheriting the constructor and creating a new constructor again in this to-do list class. I know it's a bit confusing when I say out loud and use the word constructor too many times, but it is simple. In task class there is constructor, you import it, so that's what basically it means. Okay, that's what I've been making progress. And after I have done all of this, the next thing I have been doing it, I'll show you. I created a name priority date. So although it's not complete, it's not creating a task yet. Basically this I'm just testing the logic. So when I enter name priority and date, this is the method. It'll just show the name of the task is this, priority and date, due date, etc. The way it gets name, date and priority is through scanner, again user input. So today what I had a doubt was like when we give a input, no, we give multiple inputs. Sometimes the scanner might not recognize it as different values and store it in different object containers. So I asked ChatGPT and it told me you can do it. So the way it implemented is by creating an array. So it name the like in an array numbering starts from 0. First value will be 0, second value will be 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So I'll show you it runs. There's a problem with this actually. This name, this line, there is something along with this line, because priority is coming 1, again priority of the task, again it's coming 1. These two lines, there is something, there's a problem in these two lines which I will fix like most probably tomorrow morning when I do coding again. So we are basically at is we are taking the input from the user, and we are taking all this user input and using it to give properties for the task, name, priority and a due date. We have to clean it up a bit and call it due date, and then after this need to create a linked list. I prefer using a linked list. Then after creating a linked list, I want to add store this task in linked list, then create a couple of tasks, and then create a code for viewing all these tasks. So that is the next part of this project and the progress so far. Okay, here's the update. Yesterday, as I've shown you, there was some problem with the printing. I'll just show you what was the problem. Now everything works correctly. Uh, it was working fine till now. Seems like I have to fix this again. Priority is working, due date. Okay, this one again mixing. There seems to be some problem and I just fixed it and it was working correctly. I made some changes, again it was working correctly. I don't know what's the error here. Anyway, I was this is the example. I was being too fixated on the logic. This is not necessarily what I want to be doing. The aim of this is to take everything and generate a task. After generating a task, I need to store the task into array list. So that is the workflow I need to solve. I was getting confused like what should be the inside the method. So then I was going back to this and I was looking, okay, each one task. So objects are being created. Now I need to convert them into a task, also another object, so it will be easily stored in the array list that I created here task list. So we are converting all this into a single task and then storing it so that you can access them later. So that is what I'm going to do now. Hope to complete it by tomorrow. So yeah, let's not look ahead of that. Okay, guys, I just want to give a quick update regarding this project to do manager. Okay, so the past week, while I was working on the project, I had some thoughts and I was noting it down. So I just want to talk about them, where what I'm understanding and where we want to in the future. So initially, the main problem I couldn't even like conceptualize this project. So mainly when I was thinking about this project, like I keep thinking in terms of app, and this was not an app. This was not having a graphical user interface. So that took some time to realize. And then one of the major problems I had, I think I was talking about in the previous clip, where like initially in my previous project, I used to call the one class using the main method from another class. Because it worked in the last project, I thought I'll implement the same, but in this case, it was causing unnecessary problems. So what I did was I had three classes: main class, to do list class, which is now to do task class, and it is only task class. Main class has the menu system, like what you want to do: view task, add task, delete task, etc. Here also task is created and task is stored in a array list. Task class is used for getting and setting the properties of a task, such as name, due date, status, priority, etc. Now to do task is used for displaying. It has methods that you use for displaying a task before it is completed and after it is completed. For example, like I told you, name, priority, due date, status not complete. Suppose if it is completed, then another format for displaying the task. All these type of tasks for displaying task will be there in to do task class. Now the next thing I want to talk about is like past few days that I've been coding, I had initially problems understanding, like difficulty how to code with AI. So that was one of the problems. Initially I used to do it correctly, like I used to ask syntax. I used to get this idea how I want to approach this. Okay, I want to approach like this, then I have idea, then I'll ask Google Gemini or for the code, give me a sample code, then I used to adapt it for project that I'm writing. But especially this project, because I was so having no difficulty, and that made me a little uncomfortable and not necessarily creative in terms of ideas that I used to solve the problem. So I just send the code to ChatGPT and like debug it and give me solutions. Although I understood the solution, I was not working too hard to get to the solution. So then the thing that I realized is how I should approach AI. So that was what I was questioning myself. So I was like, I'll ask it to debug, give me root cause, help me explain the problem so I understand what is the problem without giving the solution. Next, again, I'm thinking of going back to the practice of asking AI just for syntax. Like, okay, this idea implement syntax, then I'll adapt it to the code. It won't give the correct code; it will give pseudo code, false code. So then then that's what was in my frame, like mindset when I started coding today. So I was like, I just click on this custom GPT. Before starting, I saw on a threads that Khan Academy is now on ChatGPT. So there's this custom GPT by Khan Academy, Khan Mingo or something. What it does is exactly what I want. It doesn't give me spoon feed me solution. Walk through the problem, helps me think through the logic. Okay, this is what I want to do. For example, today I was working on the sorting logic for view all tasks, which I'm gonna later implement to view completed task. That is what I needed, this Khan Academy custom GPT. So that is what I was doing, and today I felt better. Like, okay, this is an idea I have, this is I want to do, and like this is how I approach it, and then it helped me think through that thing, and gave me pseudocode. That's what it called. And then I adapted it to my. Then when I made mistakes, I asked it, and then I told it, don't give me solutions. So then it explained me better. So that is what. For the sorting logic, the thing I based on upon is I use Things 3 to do app on my iPhone. Okay, so in that there's a few like toggles, not toggles, sections, upcoming and logbook, where it will classify according to uh, date and again sometimes if possible week, and then it will show you the task. So that is what I was working on. So I completed the sorting, like based on first it will how the task will be sorted is based on due date, which will come first, that will shown first, and if both tasks have the same due date, priority. So I used a comparator interface and collections to sort the um, task array list, which is a list that stores all the tasks. So the logic works. I tested it, and while testing it I realized that I realized that I needed to add task each time I need to view task. Suppose after writing all the codes, I compile it and then run the program. So before I could view the task, I need to add task first and then view. So although it is storing in a list, it is not more permanent storage. So what I figured it after writing all this sorting logic and then writing the same thing for completed, I need to work on certain other things. And then what I should do is while creating an add task, all these tasks will be then stored on a file like text file, notepad file. And then when I'm clicking view task, even though I don't add a task, it will import all the tasks from the text file. So it's more permanent so that I don't have to add task each time, so that I can view them. Although I might not necessarily use this as my to-do app, it should have a basic functionality. We should not do a project incomplete. So that is what. And all these features that I'm going to work, and I don't think I'm going to show it. I just maybe do one time lapse of me working on it, because I fear this project is already going. No, not this project. This video is already going to be too long, and I don't want to do an incomplete division into another part. So I'll just work on it, and then after the project is done, I'll show you how it works and anything else I wanted to add upon it. Hey guys, I finally finished the program and I'm trying this new camera angle where I try to show you my face as well as the screen recording. We'll see how that goes. Okay, now I'll show you how the program works. So basically, this is a to-do list app that I created in Java. Let me show you. The last time I talked to you, it was about integrating file management into this, so that whenever tasks are created, it is added into a file and stored it, and when the program starts, it takes the input from the file and adds it to the particular, like there are two lists that I have, tasks like list where tasks whose status are not completed, and list where tasks are complete. So based on the status, each task is sent to both of them, and after you mark a task complete, you can then this method that which removes it from the incomplete list task and send to the completed task list. So I'll just show you. We have task due, task stay, subscribe to this channel. This I don't know how to say. We're gonna do it. Next, I'll just this is a task that I have been loaded onto the file. Let's you can create a task. Let's um, let's see. Basically, like if you create a task, I just made it simpler. Like you add in this particular format because the entire logic depends on that, and we don't want any invalid input. So name, priority, day, month, year. Okay, so let's like priority one, Let's give it a couple of days. Watching it 6, task added successfully. Okay. Okay, this is a task. Okay. It's completed task. Yeah. Task like this video. I like as I mentioned in the last one. I wanted it to be like when the task displays. I wanted it to be easily readable. So on the month, week we have November. In November we have currently week 2. It even tells which week the task will be in. So date status not yet completed. So let's do the task 4. Okay, I'll complete it. Mark complete, back and delete. Back means go back to the menu task. View all tasks. That is completed. After this, there's a 3 to 5 second delay because yeah. Now, sorry, okay, task is gone. I felt while using the app that everything is going by too fast. So I wantedly added a thread sleep. The thread sleep 3000 seconds. So that 3000 milliseconds, that means 3 seconds. The app will continuously slow down so that it feels smooth and not fast and jerky. So that's what I aim to do here. That's basically how it works. Man, this took a long time to make it. Logbook is all the completed task, delete task, and search task. Basically, I'll show you. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Priority 1 not yet completed. Now, if I select this task, again, we get back to the single screen. So let's, yeah, back to this. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to put 2. But that's basically it. You can delete a task or exit. I'll just exit. There are a couple of delete tasks. If you delete task currently, it'll ask you the name of the task and delete. But in case of if you see this uh, delete option here, it doesn't need the input of the name. So I had to write one more delete statement. Although I could simply use the method get name to get the name of this task and use it. I unnecessarily took an extra step and made another delete task 2 method, and that delayed a lot. So that's basically it. How the app works. I'll just exit. Thanks for using the technology. That's it. That's basically app. It looks simple. When I'm actually using it, it feels good to use it. It didn't feel like that when I was coding this, but yes, thank. Just want to conclude this video with some of the thoughts that I had while learning this project. Learned is like initially, if you see, I had a lot of confusion and struggling to know how to map the project. So what I have to do is I did in previous projects. So before I start a line of code, I need to map up all the parts of the program, flesh it out properly, and figure. I think I saw this video where it's called black box method. How we can test something, and the video also talked about data abstraction, like you work on individual parts and work on the relationship, and basically you focus on the process of input, processing, and testing and output, where instead of directly going and writing the code, so so that it's independent of the programming language. By working or by work focusing on the process of it, you'll have a much clearer idea on how to approach a particular project. And I think I have to implement this from the next project onwards, so that I don't have as much confusion and annoyance as I experienced in this particular video. One more thing I want to talk about is I wanted to finish this project many times because basic law, Logic was finished a week and a half back. The main functioning of the app, after I finished integration with the file, it was almost done, but I kept delaying it multiple times because I wanted to round up all the parts of the program completely. I didn't want to make an incomplete app, but at the same time, I was struggling with the thought that done is better than perfect. So I had this competing thoughts, so I just gave into this, and I was like, finally, every single part of the um, code or the logic is completely fleshed out and clean. I didn't want to leave it incomplete. It's not perfect, but it's complete as far as it's concerned to me. And parallelly, what happened in the background was I had a lot of commitments that I had to get through the past few weeks. So the in those situations, I did the best I could. I was not too hard on myself. Like, I was not doing this project regularly, but still a thought was nagging behind me that should have finished this project by now. You should have finished this project by now. That was something that bothered me a lot when I was going to sleep. It's annoying, irritating. So then I thought, basically, what if I do shorter devlogs? Like, instead of doing full projects, if I do part of the project, yeah, would it be something that you guys would like to see? And you can share your opinions about that, like in the comments below. It feels weird saying this, but yeah, you can participate in the discussion. I'll try experimenting with shorter ones and even longer ones. We'll see how that goes. And finally, I want to say thank you for the 10 subscribers that we have. I think after the last video, we got subscribers. So it is not just me who watches my videos anymore. So I'm guessing, I don't know how to feel about this right now. I'm guessing you got some value out of it. So here's to more videos that can help you in the future. So with that, I'll take a leave. Bye bye.